So, like I said, the two big things that we're going to talk about for this meeting are the NCE and intelligent agents. And the meat of what you're going to get out of this is the intelligent agents. So, I'm going to go through the NCE relatively quickly. But before we get to the intelligent agents, the fun part, when you get to start making yourself some robots, what are you going to get out of this meeting and why do you care about this meeting? Why do we make you do things like use the NCE? We're not doing this to cause you drama and trouble. We're doing this to legitimately save you time, improve your student outcomes, and these sorts of things. So the NCE, and we'll talk a little bit about this, will save you time in building your courses and it will improve your students' reading comprehension. And intelligent agents will save you time and will improve your student retention at least a little bit. And every little bit helps. And you'll walk out of here with 3 intelligent agents that you can use in your courses starting at the end of this meeting to improve your student engagement and improve their retention. So this is probably pretty loose structurally because we have so few people here. We're going to spend about 5 minutes talking about the NCE, then we're going to open up the floor for questions about it. After that, we're going to spend about another 5 minutes to 10, 15 minutes talking about intelligent agents and building your first intelligent agent, which will be an agent that looks at all the students in your course and it says, hey, this student hasn't logged on to this course in 7 days. Let's send them an automated message just to see if they need anything, to remind them of the course, to try to get them engaged again. Then after that, we're going to have a break. If you got to go, this is a good time to leave because the next half of the workshop is really just building 2 more intelligent agents that might be useful in your course. We had a faculty needs analysis, but we're going to skip that for today because there's not enough people here. So that's basically the structure of what we'll be doing today. Does anyone have any questions about the structure or what's going to be going on before I continue forward? No? Okay. So what's the new content experience, the NCE? So the NCE is a slight redesign to the content arrangement for Momentum D2L, our learning management system. And the big difference between the traditional one and the new one is something called the single page view. Previously in Momentum, everything that you would click on would take you to a different page. Within the new content experience, everything is sorted on a single page. And this is available in summer master course shells, so you can play with it. And there'll be a full launch in the fall in fall semester. And if you're interested in having your live summer courses using the NCE, just let us know and we can put you in the pilot program. So, like I said, there's a few differences between the old and the new content experience. The first is that the nav bar is now always visible and content is nested under these sort of top level units in a tree-like view. And this saves time because you're clicking less to get through course content, both in the building and in the navigation. But it also improves student reading comprehension. It's a very small change, and it seems a little ridiculous that something so small can have such a big impact. But this sort of nested tree content and navigation together is shown by some research to improve reading comprehension to up to 20% in students. So this small change will likely have some modest but real improvement in your student reading comprehension. There are a few UI changes you need to be aware of. Basically, things just have been moved around. Add module is now called new unit. You can see where it used to be by following the blue line to where it is now, which is now called new unit. The add existing and add new buttons have been moved up to next up there in that little top ribbon. And for some reason, D2L decided to change the color. So create new is now gray and add existing is now blue. I don't know why they would make this change, but they did it. And the edit button is now these 3 little dots. Really, this is probably the largest change for your workflow. But ultimately, all of your major editing tools have just been added to one line right above the content. And the drop-down menus that you used to use have been replaced with more intuitive logo-based UI. So there's a lot less scrolling. So when you click something like Create New, instead of getting this scroll-down menu, you'll get this nice big pop-up here with these logos and these icons that will allow you to create your content. Alrighty, so that's pretty much all I have for the NCE. Like I said, it's not a huge change, but it's something that I think is worth discussing briefly. And it does have some legitimate real benefits. It'll save you time. You will have to click less. Your students will have to click less. And all these add up in all the clicking that you'll be doing over the course of a college career. And the sort of new navigation, the single page view, the nested tree, some people are calling them accordion format. These really do improve student reading comprehension by up to 20%. So there are actual benefits to this change. And like always, CTAT is here to support you. But that's pretty much the NCE. Does anyone have any questions about the NCE before moving on to the fun stuff and building yourself some robots?
Have have you guys been able to see it in the master course shell?
Yes.
How are we feeling about the NCE so far? Are you guys liking it, or are you finding it more annoying than anything else?
I'm finding it very difficult. So, like
You're
something
finding it
that
difficult.
took,
Why so?
so I was trying to just change some files up, and I kept looking for the button to take it back to how I knew how to work it. But it took me 30 minutes to figure out how to. I was able to delete the file, and then when I was trying to put the file back, the new file, it took me 30 minutes to figure out how to do that. And then so I've found it just very frustrating.
Frustrating? Oh God. What do you think would be helpful in a situation like this? Just videos of how to do basic functionality or how to translate the previous functionality into the new functionality? Or do you
That would
find
be
that
great.
that would be excellent? Okay.
That would be great. And that's actually why I'm here today, because I literally was banging my head against the wall trying to figure out just how to make it
Do
function.
what you want to do.
Yeah. And it could be
What
that I've been with D2L for a long time. So,
habits?
yeah.
Well, if you want, we have office hours every day, and I'm more than happy scheduling some time either later today or any other time to just sit down with you either on Zoom or in person
Yeah.
and work through whatever you need to work through because there is a learning curve, but it's sort of that like riding a bike situation. Once you
Yeah.
get it, I'm pretty confident that everyone's going to be able to be like, oh, well, once I
Yeah.
get past that first initial push, everyone will like it. But there is that sort of learning curve. But
I
yeah, just hit me up with an email right after this, and I'm more than happy to set up some
Okay.
personal time and we
Today
can work
probably
together on
wouldn't be
this.
good, but later this week would be great.
That's perfect. My schedule's pretty open for the rest of the week, so I don't
Okay.
doubt we can find some time.
Good
I
deal.
unmuted because I wanted to let you know that I went to the meeting yesterday that was to be had and it had been moved. I was able to work with Chris for, probably a couple of hours, and
Yeah, but it's 2 hours or so. I think we hung out.
truly it helps. And I'll also say that I got a small grant to pay for Claude AI, and I wanted to reimagine each of my pages to make them more clear, consistent, less redundancy, and accessible. So I've been able to reimagine all of my pages, but to Charity, to learn those tricks, it takes that exploration time. And I feel sorry for any teacher who thinks they're going to come in here in the fall and just say, oh, I can make it work, because that ain't happening. There are going to be a lot of frustrated people.
Usually I can just sit there and click around and figure out. I'm pretty intuitive with computer stuff, but this was truly like, why won't it do this? And then I would sit there and I got to the screen with all the icons and I went through and I clicked all the icons and none of those icons is what I needed. And it would pop it up and make it look different. And it's like, I just want it to look like the rest of the stuff.
hmm All right, so that's something I'll sit down and do. I'll get some like basic functionality videos in an easy to really short, maybe 30 seconds on how to do each little function, just so you can easily pop through those. And you think that would be helpful to you guys?
I
Okay,
do.
cool.
Also,
Yeah,
the
and Chris, we could put
troubleshooting.
those in the how to D2L how to videos
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everybody. Because
We,
probably this fall there's going to be people.
certain things happen, and it took me a while to play. I mean, I've really spent hours on this, but it looks really cool. And those troubleshooting. This may happen. Here's what you do. Videos might help.
I like that idea. Social troubleshooting workflow. Awesome. This is already really beneficial. It's really good. Like when we have these, please bring your complaints. Come here and complain, 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 complain. Because if we don't know what's frustrating you, we can't figure out trainings and methods and workarounds to give you the tools you need to, do the job you got hired for, as opposed to screaming at a computer for 3 hours trying to figure out a grade book. You know what I mean? So, all righty. What else about the NCE? Is anyone having an easy time with the NCE? Has anyone else got to play with the NCE? What's everyone's feel about it so far?
Is there anyone else that hasn't seen it live in a live course?
That's a
I
good
have
question.
I have not seen it, and I'm kind of interested in. I don't want to be one of the ones trying to use it for the first time in August, so um, I don't know. I'm teaching a course this summer, and I don't know how easy it is to be like get into that trial. Like, I don't know if I want my to teach it this summer or just play with it. What are my options, I guess, is my
Tips
question.
for the summer are we can set you up a master course shell, which is not a live show. It's just somewhere you can play and you can look at it. Alternatively, if you did want to get like you just jump into the deep end, we can put you in the live summer pilot. Just anything between that. So just a shell you can play with that no one except for you sees to getting in there in the deep end and making it live this summer, whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever you prefer.
Ashley, I would recommend. So I would wait for, to take a master course shell design this summer for your fall class.
Okay.
I definitely would just plan about 2 hours when you can just go in and click buttons and you're not actually trying to do something.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
give yourself that button clicking time. Like it will make, the best way to learn it is to get your hands dirty and start playing with it.
Hey, Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry because I'm off camera and I've changed my mics around a little bit. I just put myself on audio. Am I understanding correctly? So I just quick while the discussion was going, I was listening, but I peeked into one of my masters that has now this. It's clear to me the new content experience is in there.
Mhm.
It's an empty master. I mean, it's just been sitting there. It looks to me like so. I'm trying to understand. It's more this new content experience is how the students will perceive the layout of the content. Looks like Course Builder, because I was looking like, how do I upload a slideshow now? And then I went to Course Builder. That didn't look much changed. So if I got this right, Course Builder is about the same. Content
Yes.
experience is the appearance and navigation for the students. And what I guess I've got to learn this summer is how much hands-on that's required of me. So if I just do Course Builder, is content experience new gonna do itself?
No, you shouldn't really. You should see minimal, if any, actual impact to your workflow if you're building your course through Course Builder.
Okay.
The only major impact that you would see in your workflow is minor changes to the way that the content is nested. Because if you
Yes.
think about the original momentum, it would be. Yeah, I could just show you. It's easier just to show you.
Okay, this is really helpful. And Ashley, I'm right with you. I'm not messing with my summer class with this. It's
All
too.
right, if you take a peek at the top one here, you see how the modules are organized, and they're
Yeah.
just sort of these big boxes that you put stuff in. Now they have this more tree folder-like shape, so you can organize things by higher level, hierarchies and things like that. And that's the major change from the student
Right.
perspective. And that's
Okay.
really the largest
Okay.
shift in this change. But this heralds other changes coming to other aspects of momentum in D2L more broadly. This is sort of the start of a larger change. So for right now, things like the course builder are going to stay the same, and they probably will for a good amount of time. But in the next 2 years, that may not be the case anymore.
All right. Well, thank you.
No problem.
Does anybody want to see it? I didn't know if
Yeah,
there
we can
was
bring it up. I'll
anyone
have
that
a.
had not seen it live. I know some of you have been working in there.
Yeah, I've not
Anyone
seen
like
it.
this? No, see, well, that's fine. We'll bring one up here. Hold on. Everyone should be enrolled into this course, and you can explore this at your own speed to this NCE and H5P demo course. So let's go over to the content, and that's where you'll see the largest difference.
How do they find that, Chris? Can
You should just be able to, on your homepage, boop, click on these 9 little boxes and type in NCE H5P demo. Hit enter and it will pop up for you. Everyone who is currently faculty or an adjunct should be enrolled in this course. If you're
where
not,
is
just
it
hit me up.
set under? What tab they should look for?
The tab is NCE demo,
Okay.
or excuse me, demo semester.
Yeah, you should see a tab when like you see spring, fall, summer, all that. You should see a tab with NCE demo. And you can go in there and play around in there. Well, you can see it.
So here's what the new content menu looks like. We have the content joined with the navigation. I think you can see this most clearly in like a PDF somewhere. Previously, we would have to go to a whole new page every time we clicked on one of these things. Now everything is nicely sorted together. And that's the biggest change. There's minor changes to the UI, like I said. These buttons no longer give you that drop down when you click on them. You get this instead. So those are your 2 biggest changes. This menu is slightly different. These buttons are slightly different. But we will produce some training materials that sort of walk through the basic functionality as well that you'll be able to have for reference before summer's over.
No.
Yeah. Come on by, set up a meeting. We're happy to have you. All right, let's get to intelligent agents because these are really helpful and pretty fun to set up. I think these are pretty useful features that not a lot of people use. And we want to get to them if we want to have enough time. Is an intelligent agent. So an intelligent agent is a tool within Momentum that will allow you to automatically message students when certain criteria are met. So what does this mean? What is a criteria? Momentum lets you define all sorts of different criteria, but they're just basically a condition where when this condition is true, a message is sent. For example, a criteria may be something like a student hasn't logged in for 7 or more days. That is a criteria. If a student's average grade drops below 69%, that is a criteria. If a student gets a particular score on a quiz, that is a criteria. And there are a lot more criteria than just the ones we're going to discuss here. So you can get into a lot of depth with what you want to build using this. But for the purposes of this workshop, I want to teach you how to build, we might not have time for all 3, so at least 2 intelligent agents in your course that will improve your course, that will improve your student outcomes in theory, statistically, according to research, that you can walk out of here with today. So one of the problems, I think, especially with online courses, especially at community colleges, is that students tend to drop off for whatever reason. And there's some research out there that shows even automated messaging, just any message to these students that are starting to drop off, can get them to re-engage. And we see about 20% improvement in student retention in courses that engage with this sort of, hey, where are you? Are you okay? Are you good? And so what I want to do is I want you to get your laptop out, get your computer out if you have one available, and go into one of the courses that you're currently working on. If it's a master shell, that's perfect. If it's a live course, that's perfect too. So just take a few minutes, get into your momentum, get into a course you want to work on, and we're going to work on building an intelligent agent that whenever a student doesn't log in for more than 7 days, it will automatically send them a message saying, hey, are you okay? Can we help you with anything?
I'd like to jump in right now. I just threw a big thing in the chat. What you're doing was so essential. After you had created those 2 agents for me, I went to the middle college department and I was chatting with Jonathan and Nikki, and they showed me that a number of these courses that these middle college students were taking had not had the greatest scores, just a few of the students, not out of our massive group, but that the teacher never notified the success coach or did an alert. So this is actually huge. Whatever you're doing now, you guys really should have it done. It's amazing. I look forward to using that well.
Thank you. Alrighty, so once everyone gets their momentum, basically just follow along with me and I'll walk you through setting up your first intelligent agent. Oop, I got a little course shell here. So we'll begin on our home page. Whoops. So we'll begin on our course homepage, and what we want to do is we want to go to Edit Course and click on that. And then down in Edit Course, you will find your intelligent agents, and we'll click on that. Give everybody a second to find that. So we want to create a new intelligent agent. Can anyone guess how we create a new intelligent agent given the UI that we have right here? Susan, you want to take a guess? I feel like you might know.
I'm thinking new agent.
That's the one. That's the one. Don't overthink it, We're going to click on new agent. All right, the first thing we got to do to set it up is to give it a name. And the students will not see the name or the description that you give this intelligent agent. So I like to give them vivid descriptions that bring me joy that I will memorize. So we're going to call this one Bug Student if they don't show after 7 days. And as the description, I will say, when you want this description to be something that you'll know what it is because it's not useful to you if you create this thing, then you go looking for it later and you can't find it. So I'll write that this one checks to make sure student hasn't fallen into a hole. Righty. We have to turn the agent on, and then we have to go through and schedule the criteria, the schedule, and what it does when we do it. These are the 3 main steps. So in scheduling, we have to tell the agent how often we want it to do whatever action we're going to define it do. For this one, I'm going to have it check once every week to see where students are with their attendance. So for this one, we're going to do frequency weekly. And for the criteria, we want to do it to all the students in the class. So all users visible in the class list. And we're going to do take action on log on activity. We're going to do actually course activity. So the difference between login activity is whether or not they log into Momentum as a whole system. Course activity is specifically for the course that you put the intelligent agent in. So I'm going to do this per course, set that for 7 days. Then I'm going to go down to actions. And this is where we define and program what we want the intelligent agent to do or say when our criteria of user has not accessed the course in the last 7 days is true. The first thing that we have to select is whether we want this to happen only the first time that it detects it or every time it detects it. So for this one, for example, if we set it for only the first time it detects it, that very first time and only that very first time that a student hasn't logged in for 7 or more days, it will send the message. If we select the other one, every time it runs, the student who is not logged on for 7 or more days will be notified. I want to bug them every time, so I'm going to do every time the agent is evaluated. And the action we want it to do is to send an email.
Hey, Chris, quick
Yes.
question. On your screen, and I'm in this on my Momentum, you had stay right there, wait. Yes, freeze. Don't move. Don't move it. Under actions, you have is it just unique to you? Under your take action every time, there's a area that says change user enrollments. That must be for you.
Yeah, that's unique. That's unique to me because I'm an administrator.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, just ignore that.
All right.
Alrighty, so now we need to send this message. We probably want to send a message to ourselves to let us know that the student is struggling, but we also probably want to send a message to the student because that's the purpose of the thing. To do that, we have to use something called special character strings. And what these are variables. You can imagine these as empty boxes that will fill up automatically with what you want them to fill up with. So we can see the special email addresses we can use here by clicking this. We get initiating user, which is the one we're going to use 99% of the time. Whenever we take this string here, we can copy it. That is automatically going to replace the initiating user. That is to say, the student who qualified for the criteria, the student who is not logged in for more than 7 days, it will automatically pull their email. Then we also want to send it to me, so I know about the student. Oops, state.edu. So now we've filled out the to form. This will send a message to the initiating user, the student, and it will send a message to me. We can fill in the subject line. We also have more special character strings we can use for this too. For this one, I'm going to use initiating user first name. I'm going to say, hello, initiating user first name. I notice you've not logged in more than 7 days. Then down here, I'll write, hi, initiating user first name. I just wanted to check in on you because blah, 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 blah. And where it says initiating user first name, can anyone guess what that's going to do? What that's going to pull for and fill in when the message actually gets sent?
Personalizes the message.
Yes, ma'am, exactly. So if the student's name is John Doe, it'll say, hi, John, I just want to check in on you because. If the student's name is Sue, it will say, hi, Sue, I just wanted to check in on you because.
And I think it's important for you to show them that it can give the course and section as well.
I'm going to show that on the next one that we go through. I don't want to overload.
Chris, pause for a
Yes.
second. I looked away. Initiating user first name. Where did you find that?
If you click right here, what replace strings can I use in the subject and the message? You'll get a list
Perfect.
of all the different ones you can use here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, then once all that's done, we just save and close. Oh, we missed something. What do we miss? I forgot to set the day that it's supposed to run on. We'll just say Monday. It doesn't matter. Alrighty, now in this course, this intelligent agent is running. Every time a student does not log into this course for more than 7 days, they will be sent an automatic message that says, hey, are you okay? And whatever else you wanted to say. So this is a way that you can automate your messaging to your students. If you have 100 students, you can keep track of them using this without having to pay attention yourself. And research shows that even these simple messages, even little things like this, it's not going to, save their college career, but it can add that extra couple 10, 20% to their retention rate that can, really help them. It might be that little bit of weight that pulls them across the finish line.
Clarification. I happened to
Yes.
see that there was a space where you could actually upload some document. So
Yes,
if I
yes,
do
you can.
that, it will go out with this agent each time?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
There's a limit to the file size. It's not a super big file. I think it's like 5 megabytes. So it's not giant, but you can add like a PDF. You can add really whatever you want to add.
So you said the limit's 5 megabytes?
I believe that that's the limit for the attachment.
I wonder if we can increase that at all.
Maybe. I mean, 5 megabytes. What are you going to be putting on there that's bigger than 5 megabytes, really, honestly? Video file, maybe. Use a link.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
I
so everyone
just
should have
know it's going to save me a lot of time because I spend every week sending out emails to people who have not done the assignment for the week. So I'm excited.
I would like to show you how to make 2 more. Well, actually, we probably only have time for one more intelligent agent, but I think now is also a good time for a break. Open up any questions that we have about the intelligent agents in general. Is this the sort of thing that you guys actually find helpful? Is this the sort of material that you would like to see more of as we develop these sorts of trainings and courses? Yeah.
Yep. Thumbs up from
Everybody?
me. Yep.
All righty, well, everybody take 5. I will be right back. Let's start back up at 12:40. Take 3 minutes, just real fast, and stretch your little leggies, etc.
You go ahead. I'm going to hang out in here and answer questions or talk to people. Yeah, I've known about intelligent agents all the time, but I just never have used them in my course that I teach. I just spend my time writing, a message to each of them each week. And I'm like, okay, I need to implement this to save my time. And if you think of any others that you might be interested in, I'm not sure what he's going to do as an example. for the next one. You might ask him to show you how to do that, or he can even we can set up an appointment one-on-one and just to help you get him set up in your course.
Well, and this is Pam. It's very helpful to have this somewhat early intervention of the intelligent agent, of course, but the new content experience rather than, well, we'll be empowered for the
Yeah.
fall. So this is super helpful, this meeting today, to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, and really the purpose, I know change can be annoying, but there is solid evidence that once we get through the transitionary period with the NCE, that it will be a good thing for everybody involved.
It will. It's just going to take a little bit of getting used to.
Change is good. We love change.
So.
All right. Give everybody another minute or two just to consider, to contemplate. How about the beautiful weather we've been having?
Yeah, and I told them if they were thinking of any other intelligent agents besides what you're demoing, they might
Yeah, we can build them out today, honestly. They're pretty easy
just
to build.
say what they are interested in doing.
It might be helpful to show everybody all the criteria, just so they can get ideas of.
What are other intelligence agents that you can use?
Oh, you can make them basically however you want to make them. I'm going to show you how to make one that will alert you when a student's grade drops below a certain thing. But because there's so many criteria, you can create them that do all sorts of things. So you may want to have them get a particular message when they put something in a Dropbox. You can, if you use competencies or rubrics in your courses, you can automate based on those. You can automate them visiting content topics, doing things in discussion board posts, getting particular grades, scoring particular things on particular quizzes.
Can you go back to that rubric thing? Did it say score the rubric?
Yeah. Where did that? Yeah. Score on associated rubric.
So like basically just give you the score give you the grade once somebody's been graded.
No, it's more like it. Say that you have a rubric and it's got like for an essay or whatever, and one of the rubric categories is spelling and grammar, and you have that set up to where it like gets three options: poor, good, excellent. You may have it set to be like, oh, if student gets poor on this rubric, I'm going to automatically send them content about like how to improve their grammar or their citational style or whatever it is that is associated with that particular rubric.
Wow.
That would be awesome.
All righty. But if everyone's back, we can go ahead and start making a new intelligent agent. And the purpose of this intelligent agent is to alert students and yourself if a student is starting to get into danger zone average grade territory. So we'll call this agent danger zone alert. And we'll say that it alerts us and students when their grade drops below 69%. Turn it on. And we'll schedule it. Just for the purposes of this one, we'll schedule it to run at a different time. We'll make it run every 2 hours. All users visible in class list. And now we want to go down to our criteria. So we will go to create, condition type, and we want to find quizzes.
Not GPA. Is GPA an option? I think we did that yesterday.
It is excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's released final grade score that we want. That's the final grade. So boom. Then we have to finish defining our conditions. So you're probably familiar with the greater than or less than symbol from basic math. And you probably aren't familiar with the greater than or equal to symbol. It basically is the same as a greater than or less than symbol, but it also means or equal to. So let's say that we want this criteria to be less than or equal to 69. So this will trigger anytime a student's grade is 69 or below. So we'll click create. We'll go down to our actions. And since we have this running every 2 hours, we don't want to blast them with a message every 2 hours. So only the first time that this happens, we'll send them an email. Does anyone remember what we're supposed to put into the two to send it to the student that initiates it? Starts
You're
with
gonna
a
do their
curly
first
brace.
name, right?
It's not their first name. We can
Initiate
figure
user.
out by clicking special email addresses we can use. It is initiating user to initiating user. Then I'll also send it to myself. Hey, initiating user first name. Your grade is in the danger zone. In our course, we'll use org unit name, which is going to be the name of our course. Then we would fill out the description. Hey, initiating user first name. I noticed that in our course, oops, org unit name, your grade has dropped to 69 or below. You are at risk of failing the course. I recommend blah, 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 blah. Then we'll save and close. And just like that, we now have another intelligent agent. And this one, whenever a student in the course where we have this agent drops to 69 or below, it will automatically alert us and it will automatically alert the student as well.
With their
So these are
low
just
stake.
simple ways of getting in touch with your students, making sure they stay on track without adding a lot more workload to you. Because I understand a lot of professors do this manually, and you don't necessarily have to do this manually.
Question, Chris.
Yes, ma'am.
Can these be ported to other courses, or is
Yes.
it just in the
Yes, they
master?
can be
Okay.
ported. Your intelligent agents are not saved to any individual course. Hey y'all, Chris here. That's totally not right at all. They are specifically within individual courses. That said, you can export and import them like you would any other piece of content within your courses, be it a quiz, a page, a file, whatever. But they do not exist at account level. That is wrong. They are saved instead to your account, so you can move them around like you would any other piece of content.
And the content will populate according to where you put it, as opposed to you have to go back in and shift and add all of the initiating user and stuff.
Nope, it's triggered for the class. So say you have two classes, say just for example, you have biology 1110 and biology 2010. It will automatically replace all the information for the correct student in biology 1010. Your org unit code for biology 1010 will automatically be updated.
Okay.
Same thing's true for 2010. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
That's helpful.
Yeah, so you only have to make it once, and it will
Okay.
work in any course you want it to work in.
I have
Okay.
I have one question, Chris. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting, Pam.
Oh, you're not interrupting.
Is there a way to make it, is email the only form of notification they can receive? Because if they
Unfortunately,
haven't
yes.
logged in for like 3 weeks, and then then email's probably not a very like efficient way of, they're less likely to check email than
This is a good point, but
your
no,
average student.
that's the only way that it can reach out to the students. You can use it to alert you, so that if you have a different way of reaching out to the student, you can take that channel. But
Right,
it really can only shoot their email because that's all it knows about them. It doesn't have their
right,
phone number. It doesn't have the ability to call.
right.
I have an odd question.
Yeah.
I asked students from the beginning to give me their call name because it's not always what their RadarNet name is. Is there a way to adjust in momentum when I get a Joseph who says he's called Joe so that it can do that?
That is actually on Joe. Hold on one second. So if we go to their profile and they set up a nickname, that is what Banner, or not Banner, but RadarNet will use instead of their first name.
Ooh, can you send me just something I can give to my students that says says if you've got a nickname, do this.
Yeah,
Is
I'll,
it
I'll
easy?
pop you an email right after this to
That's easy.
show you, and they can add all this other information here too if
Yeah,
they
yeah.
want. But
But that's awesome. Thanks.
yeah, they can use a preferred name this way instead of having to use the official name they have. There's also a way in your courses that you can set it so they have to use their official name if you have some sort of rules or regulations about that. Alrighty, we don't really have time to go through the last intelligent agent, and I wanted to leave the last few minutes open just for questions, comments. What do you guys need from CTAT? What do you want to see from us?
I need a better way to organize my questions in the my question banks. So I'm going to be reaching out to you guys for that this year.
Alrighty. What else? What's frustrating y'all? What's giving you trouble? What do you want to see? What would be valuable to you in these sorts of workshops and meetings and things like that?
One thing I'd like to see is like this that you did today. I didn't even know that was possible. So if you could do something like that just tells us the capacity of
Mhm.
D2L.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, that's pretty much all the material I had for you. I wanted to introduce you to the NCE. I wanted to show you intelligent agents and leave you with a couple of those. I really appreciate everyone showing up. I was a little bit scared that I was going to be sitting here by myself. So I really do appreciate you all coming and engaging and asking questions. So thank you very much.
Hey, Chris, I talk about organizing her.
Oh, well, unless there's anything else, I suppose I'm going to close the meeting again. Thank you all so much for coming by, and I hope to see you again, not next week, but week after.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.